A common question I get is how to run hybrid workshops, or in other words, workshops with participants split between in person and remote. Not only does facilitation get tricky, they're also a logistical puzzle. I'm going to run through how I approach these scenarios and what I've learned along the way. The first thing to think about is your participant ratios. I tend to divide hybrid workshops into three buckets. Bucket one is an 80-20 split, in person to remote, or something close to that. This is when the majority of participants are in person, but you have 1 to 3 remote participants. Bucket two is a 50-50 split, in person and remote, or anything closer to that half and half split. And then bucket three is a 50-50 split, in person and in person, meaning half your group is in one physical location and the other half is in another physical location together. So let's start with bucket number one, when you have the majority of participants in person with a few joining remotely. The best way to approach these workshops is like any other in-person workshop, but with a camera set up facing the room and whiteboard space alongside audio. Then you'll want to set up a buddy system. Assign each remote participant a buddy in the room who they can have a secondary channel of communication up and running. When they want to chime in to share, they have a voice in the room to get everyone's attention. When creating small groups, pair the remote participants together and have them work in a digital whiteboard space that can then be shared on a projector or large screen in the physical workshop room during playbacks, which is what we call when groups share with one another. Now, how do we handle bucket number two when you have a 50-50 in-person and remote split? In these cases, I'll gather in-person participants in the room, but have each of them bring their laptops. They'll join a video call alongside our participants who are remote. Everyone in person will mute their audio on the video call and will use one central audio line. All participants, in person and remote, contribute on a virtual whiteboard from their computer. During small group work, in-person participants will be grouped with one another in the physical room, while remote participants will go to a virtual breakout room to work together. And lastly, bucket number three, a workshop group split across multiple physical locations. I like to approach these like in-person workshops that happen to be occurring simultaneously with the same agenda. I assign a facilitator in each location to act as a sub-facilitator, answering questions during activities and communicating with the primary facilitator. It's also helpful to assign a workshop computer for each physical space. This computer will be on a video call with the other locations and projecting into each workshop room. The entire workshop, meaning all physical locations, will kick off and conclude as one, led by the primary facilitator. During activities, streamed audio is muted, and each location will execute the activities in person. My personal preference is to keep videos running and set the computer in a place that captures the majority of the workshop room. During playbacks, the workshop computer will travel around the room so that the teams share. They'll be streamed to the other locations. Hybrid workshops can be intimidating. My parting advice is to just start small, with a workshop group of 4 to 8 participants and an hour. From there, you can expand in size, complexity, and duration.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of our UX videos, take a look at this over here and consider subscribing to our channel. On our website, ngroup.com, you can access our free library of over 2,000 articles. You can also register for one of our UX courses that offer live hands-on UX training.